Hello, Master Manifestors. It is Olivia Grace, and I'm back with another video for you guys. And today we're going to be talking about robotic affirming, which is a super popular technique within the Law of Assumption community. And I don't know about nowadays, but there was previously like a big debate about how helpful it was, or if it's not helpful or whatever. It's not Neville, all these things. So I'm going to be explaining why I feel like robotic affirming might be the GOAT of all techniques. And I'm going to explain why, how you should be using it, and everything like that. Now, before I get into that, I am Olivia Grace. This is the Master Manifestor channel where I talk about Law of Assumption. I am very amazing at explaining manifestation. I've been studying it for over 10 years now, so I have a very deep knowledge about it. I've been coaching for about 6, so I've seen all kind of circumstances and helped all kind of people. So if you would like my help, I have links in the description to schedule a session with me. I also have my other social medias, my TikTok, my Instagram in the description. I started my Instagram over, so it's like at 0. So if you guys want to follow me on there. And yeah, that's really it. Oh, I'm also, on my membership, which is under the join button. So once you subscribe, you guys, there will be a button that says join, and that's how you access the membership tiers. And so the first membership is the master members. That's where I documented my SP journey from beginning to end. And, the one that is currently going on is me on my weight loss journey. That one is still going on. Okay. So if you guys are interested in more personal things that I've been going through and me kind of walking you guys through the process of what I go through, the highs, the lows, the breakthroughs, the doubts, the fears, all of that, and still see me come through it, then that's where you can do that at. And lastly, subscribe if you're not subscribed. If you're interested in the Law of Assumption, comment on the video, like the video. You should really like it right now because it's going to help you. It's going to make sense, and it's going to help you be consistent, which is exactly what you need to help your manifestation to occur. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, I started talking about robotic affirming, not last year, but the year before. And I kind of played with it a bit and kind of left it off because I usually am more of an energy person. I'm very empathic. So it's very easy for me to pick up on energies or to embody an energy. I also, because I've been practicing manifestation so long, it's easy for me to just decide something rather than feel the need to make something happen. Like I make the decision that this is what's going to happen, and I keep deciding that rather than me using like a technique like robotic affirming or scripting or something like that, right? But here's where I'll be really open and vulnerable with you guys. In the past couple of years, my mental health really declined, just being real, like honest with you guys. Before then, I was in a place where I was very high vibrational. I was very happy. It was very easy basically for me to control my energy and to, use other techniques and things like that. It was very easy for me to be in that state of mind of, like I said, I just decide this and this is what it is and not really go back and forth on it. But my mental health kind of went on a decline, last year and even the year before. It wasn't even just because of the SP thing. There was so much going on in my life last year, but the year even before, it had already been kind of going downhill. And I say this to say that what happened for me basically was one day I was just like thinking randomly, and I was paying attention to my thoughts, and I realized that I was just ruminating. Like I realized this a while ago about myself, but I can like ruminate. And I don't know if you guys struggle with negative thoughts or struggle with anxiety or struggle with, intrusive thoughts, or where it feels like it can be difficult basically to keep yourself in a good energy when you're not in a good energy, when you're not in the best mental space, right? And so in that moment of me ruminating, I was aware that, okay, I'm literally turning this situation around in my head over and over and over and over again. in negative ways, feeling negatively about it. And I realized how often I'm doing that throughout the day. And I realized, you guys, and I don't know about, like, this doesn't apply to everybody, but I feel like for a lot of us, to be honest, y'all, most of the thoughts that we're thinking are bullshit. When we're not consciously thinking, we are remembering the past hurts. We are thinking about, oh, I hope this thing doesn't go wrong. Or we are like, especially if you struggle with anxiety or depression or a bad past, or you're just in a tough moment in your life, you know, your thoughts are mostly kind of ruminating on bullshit. And that's what's perpetuating the states that you're in, the circumstances that you're in, and kind of preventing you from really being consistent, right? Because the thing is, again, from my experience, which I talk about a lot on here, is like on these 2 years that I said that my mental health had been kind of on a decline, I would obviously find great moments. Like I would have great moments of peace. I'd have great moments of clarity. I'd have great moments of epiphanies. I'd have great days or even weeks of me being able to maintain a state or being able to, you know, do, you know, how I usually am. But there would be times where I wasn't. And in those times when my state wasn't correct, or when I wasn't in the mental space to be able to focus my energy in a certain way, then I wasn't really doing anything. Then I was kind of returning back to the old story, right? So what actually happened for me was, like I said, I was just like ruminating, and I realized, okay, instead of me ruminating on the bad, why don't I ruminate on the good, right? And so that is when I started doing robotic affirming. And the thing about robotic affirming is that your thinking is affirming, right? Because my problem with the robotic affirming before was that I don't want to be doing a technique all day long. I don't want to be trying to get something all day long. I just don't want to be doing that. But you're thinking all day long anyways. So if you're having majority positive thoughts, if you have majority bossed up thoughts that are in line with who you want to be and your desires, then you probably don't necessarily need to robotically affirm. I mean, you can, but it's funny because in the past, I felt like robotic affirming was something that wasn't really good for my mental health, but I'm seeing now that it is, because it's brainwashing myself back positively. And so, and the thing about robotic affirming that to me is so monumental, and what I'm really saying within this video, what makes it the GOAT of the techniques, is that no matter who you are, no matter what level of manifesting you are, whether you started yesterday, you started 10 years ago, no matter like what's going on in your life, even if you are in physical pain, you can think a thought. You're thinking thoughts anyway. You can always think a thought, no matter what education level you are, no matter anything, no matter who you are, you can think a thought. If you're somebody who struggles with, I don't know, panic attacks, or I even think about how, you know, stressful my life can be sometimes, and I'm just one person, you know, I'm not a mom. Like if you're a mom and you have all these kids, you have all this stuff that you have to be attentive to, you may not have, you know, time at night to loop your scene or whatever. And this is not making excuses, right? But I'm just saying that robotic affirming is the technique that there is no excuse. There's nothing that you can really say that you cannot repeat what you want in your mind, right? And what I noticed for me, you guys, and I noticed this back when I was robotic affirming before, is that it really does not take long for you to feel and experience a shift in your state of being from robotically affirming, from telling yourself and telling yourself. If you think about like monks and you know, people that meditate, and they have what they call a mantra, which is one statement that they're looping in their mind, that they're meditating on in their mind, and they're saturating and drenching their mind with this one affirmation, right? With this mantra. That's literally what what robotic affirming is. But to me, I feel like it ties right into a mental diet, because you are basically making sure that your thoughts are centered around what you want, right? And then on top of that, you're like streamlining, like you're using your thoughts, instead of your thoughts going over here to this pretty bird and over here to that person that hurt you and over here to how hard life is and over here to, you know, whatever. Like your mind is on what you want. So your mind gets saturated that much quicker because you're continuously thinking about it. The other thing that I noticed was, it just left my mind, but it's gonna come back. But the other thing is that what a lot of people are missing in manifestation is consistency. And it's like I said, when your state of being is kind of all over the place, when you're doing a technique, maybe like SATs or visualization, and you go on vacation, or you have a really tough week at work, or you have, you know, whatever these things, it can kind of take you out of your groove. And once you're out of your groove, it's like you kind of, you can fall back into the old story, right? Without even realizing it. But again, no matter what you're doing, no matter what's going on, you can affirm, you can be mindful of your thoughts. And what it does is create a more beautiful, that's what I was thinking before, a more beautiful mental environment to where you're automatically thinking as if. You're automatically thinking in your favor, right? And what this did for me was made me kind of hyper aware of my thoughts, because I am affirming majority of the time, right? I'm affirming when I'm like kind of idle, not really doing anything, when I don't really need my brain for anything. I'm using that time to affirm and to tell my new story, right? So let's get into how to use this for yourself, right? Because this is another thing that I feel like helped me, was when I first like learned about robotic affirming. Of course I learned from Sammy Ingram, and what was like the videos I was watching at that time was like the 10-minute method, like to affirm for 10 minutes, or, you know, affirm for 10K, like all of these things, right? And so I like those things can work, right? But again, for me, because I was struggling with like I was struggling with my thoughts, like I was struggling with like, I don't even know, like ruminating. I don't even know what else to call it, that like excessive, like negative thinking, basically. And so I started just affirming all the time. I started just like telling my new story all the time. And that, like, I watched, I think it was Rita's video. I'm not sure. But she was saying how basically like she went through her robotic affirming routine. And it was basically all day. Like she's affirming all day. Unless she's doing something that she has to be present for, she's affirming for. And it sounds like excessive, right? Which is why I prefaced saying this with what I said in the beginning, which is that we're thinking all the time. You can gauge on how beautiful is the garden of your mind, right? If the garden of your mind is already naturally very beautiful, you probably don't need to affirm all the time, right? You probably can just set some time aside. But if you are, you know, ruminating, if you are dealing with anxious thoughts, intrusive thoughts, whatever, it may be a good idea, and it helped me, you know, like, just disclaimer, on this channel, I never tell you guys what to do. I give you guys suggestions. I tell you guys how things work for me, but I always, always, always say to do what feels good to you. You guys, do what resonates with you. If you try robotic affirming and it doesn't feel good to you and you don't like it and it feels like it's suppressing your desire or suppressing whatever's going on, or you're feeling, you know, overwhelmed by it, then don't do it. But I'm just saying it's something that you can try, and this is how it worked for me. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're going to pick 1 to 2 affirmations per desire, right? I would say, honestly, focus on 1 or 2 desires at a time and use 1 or 2 affirmations to continuously repeat. And I'm gonna get into why. And before I say this, it's funny because in one of Neville's lectures, he says that people have the habit of slighting the importance of small things, right? And in that, he was talking about SATs, and he was saying the suggestion to create a state of kin to sleep is one of those small things that you might slight, but not to slight it, right? What I'm telling you guys right now, like, pick 1 or 2 desires and pick 1 or 2 affirmations. It's something, do not slight it. Don't disregard and say, no, I'm gonna use my whole 10-page thing of affirmations. And here's why, you guys, because that's what I used to do, right? And your mind, and this is exactly what Neville said in the lecture as well, your mind will run away, right? When you have one or two things that you're repeating, and make them short, right? I make mine short. I have so-and-so. I am da-da-da. My da-da-da is this, like whatever. Like that, just make it a short statement that you can just repeat and repeat and repeat. If your affirmation is, I bring in so much money every single day and people love to pay me, and all the days of my life, I'm getting so much money and my bank account is so fat, and oh my gosh, how are you going to repeat that? Your mind is going to be like, wait, oh yeah, that one person didn't pay me though. And then I don't know. And oh, what about that person? Like your mind, you're giving your mind an opportunity to run away. When you have something short and specific, you can literally, it's so much easier for you to loop. Same thing with desires, right? When you're going from this desire to that desire to this desire, that desire, this desire, and that was my problem. Because having all this power, you want to go after all desires. And again, let me pause right here. This is not a limitation. If you feel like you would like to manifest many of your desires or all your desires at the same time, then definitely do that. You, of course, can use umbrella affirmations for that and just say, I have everything that I want. Everything that I want is working out for me, which I also should suggest you affirming that. But what I'm saying is what worked for me, or what I noticed with myself, is when I have too many things that I'm trying to focus on, too many things that I'm trying to, and I honestly, you guys, I can't multitask in regular life. Like I can't even text and listen to somebody talking to me at the same time. So for me, doing too much at once, it overwhelms me. For some people, they can talk, text, drive, do like all kind of things. So you know, again, put this to yourself. What feels good to you? I realized that for me, it's better for me to do short chunks, right? Or even I saw somebody say that she has different days that she affirms for different desires, which I like too. But I've gotten into such a mantra with my 2 affirmations that I've been using that I've just kind of been doing that. So you're going to pick those 2 affirmations. You're going to be affirming. It should be like something just in the back of your mind. And that's what I think the other thing that I want to say is, this is not to say that you're, in my opinion, okay? This is not to say that your state does not matter, okay? But what I notice is that my state is much better when I am mentally affirming, when I am robotically affirming. I also, other than having my 2 affirmations and looping them, I like to do rampages, which is where you can include your other affirmations. If you have all of us have very specific things that we want, our list of affirmations. And that's when you can kind of go into those affirmations. I don't even, I have some affirmations recorded on Parrot, but rampaging is kind of it's like giving yourself a pep talk, or it's not even a pep talk, because it's you just immersing yourself. I have this, I love having this, it's amazing having this, this came to me so quickly, people can't believe how quickly this came to me, all of that, that's rampaging. So that would be a good time to incorporate your other affirmations for a rampage, right? But other than that, take your 1 to 2 affirmations that is for your specific desire and loop those, repeat, and just have it almost running like a subliminal. Like if you were to put a subliminal or some rain sounds on YouTube and have them running in the back of your head, right? It's also made me, I think I said this in the beginning, but it's also made me kind of hyper aware of my state. So when I'm thinking, it's helped me to think as if with my other desires. Because I'm used to robotically affirming, I become aware when I'm not. I become aware when I start to ruminate, or when my mind is just not doing anything. And what came to me in that moment, you guys, was another Neville thing. This is his wife, who woke up from a dream and said, Neville, all of our thoughts are investments. All of them are to basically, all of your thoughts should be seeds that you want to plant. All of your thoughts should be things that you want to happen. And I know that we're not perfect, you guys, right? I'm not saying that all of your thoughts are going to be perfect all the time, although you could affirm that. But what I'm saying is, if you can help it, what you can help, you should be ruminating and drenching and saturating your mind on things that are helpful to you. You should be thinking in your favor, right? And we are so trained and taught to think in opposition to our favor. We're so trained to think and focus that things are going to go wrong, and to anticipate the bad, and to, be ready for the bad, and to brace ourselves for life, that thinking in our favor sounds like crazy. That like, oh, why would I think in my favor all day? That's too much work. You think out of your favor all day, right? And that was the realization that I came to. So pick your 1 to 2 affirmations, loop them in the back as if it's just a background tape. Don't do it with the energy of trying, right? And okay, I'll touch on this too, because before, my robotic affirming, and this is going to help you with no matter what technique that you're using, okay? Stop using the technique as trying to get something, because when you're using a technique from the mentality of I'm trying to get, that's where the desperation comes from. And that's where I would be coming from sometimes before when I was using robotic affirming, right? But now it's literally just, I'm not even thinking of it as like, oh, this is making my desire happen. I'm doing it because I want my mind to be a beautiful place. I want my mind to be happy. I want to think well of myself and of others and of life and of things that are going to happen to me and others, right? I know that my desires are mine. I know because I decided that they're mine and that I decided that they're happening, And me robotically affirming is keeping me in the mental space and keeping me in the state of having that desire, right? And I'm intending that makes sense, that you guys can see the difference between affirming and doing techniques to try and get something, which keeps you in a perpetual state of trying to get and not having, versus being in the state of I know this thing is mine and it's happening and I'm doing this technique because I'm enjoying it, because I like the way it feels, because it's keeping me in the mental state of having and enjoying my desire, okay? Let me see. I'm trying to read my notes, y'all. Like, what? My handwriting. I mean, my handwriting is usually good, but I scribbled this, so I don't know what that says. But, but basically, that's it, you guys. Yes, I also use affirmations in Parrot. Like, I just started doing that, and I really liked it. But yeah, you guys, I feel like robotic affirming allows you to be consistent no matter the circumstance, no matter whatever is going on with you internally, externally. You can think a good thought, right? Think a happy thought and you'll fly. Think happy thoughts and your shit's gonna manifest, right? So I'm intending that helps you. I'm pretty sure, I'm actually 100% sure that it does. Like the video because I know you like it. I know it was amazing for you. I know that this made something click for you. I know that you're going to now be a shepherd of your thoughts and not let your thoughts run all over the place. Our thoughts, you guys, and I'm going to say this and then I'm going to hop off, but realize, you guys, we are in an illusion. We are in an illusionary world that is meant to keep you in the illusion. It is your job to remind yourself that you are going to have what you want, that it's going to work out your way, that things are going to go in the way that you said that they're going to go. It's up to you to think in your favor. It's up to you to think, oh, is this going to work out? Oh, I don't think it's going to work out. No, it is going to work out. It's up to you to do that. Okay, you guys? So it's up to you to not only just listen to videos and binge watch videos, but to actually practice, you guys. And by robotically affirming, by keeping your thoughts, looping your thoughts in the back of your mind at all times, or all times that you are aware or can, you are saturating your mind. You are staying the course of what you are trying to create, okay? So I am sending you guys so much love. I love you guys. Like the video, comment, share it if you feel like it will help somebody. And I will see you guys in a video soon.